Right, guys, gals, non-binary pals. This is David Xanatos 1138. I'm still working on that intro. It's a tongue twister for some reason. I am, like I said, David Xanatos 1138 on all social medias, talking about wrestling. For this podcast, we have Doctor Who podcast on its Fanbox, as well as many other things. We talked about Superman. We've talked pop culture, lots of pop culture, and I yeah, that's basically it for me. What about you, Cass?
Hello, everyone. As always, I am your favorite indie darling, the Lone Star Casanova, Mr. Must See TV, Chris Goddamn Magnus, and we are here again for another day in the worldwide wrestling entertainment industry. We have a lot of things to talk about today pertaining with WWE, New Japan, and AEW. I am sorry. I will get better on doing more research with Lucha Libre. I know AAA's on it like on Saturdays, but that's also the same time that Collision's on. So I'm just gonna have to get better. Same with CMLL. But Dave, how you been? Are you ready to talk about wrestling?
I am probably not. I am not very well prepared. I I really primarily watch AEW. It's all I really make the time for. It's all I really have the time for. We join wonderful people on lives to do a watch along, so I get to see many different perspectives on Dynamite, Collision, and the AEW events. I will watch clips of WWE. I've gone into the past why I don't watch them outright anymore. I will watch wrestling clips, whenever they pop up. So like I do know some things, but there's a lot of wrestlers where I'll go, who the hell is that? And a thought comes to mind. I'm just going to break off on a tangent real quick. You might be wondering why I keep calling him Cass, because he has more nicknames, everything but the kitchen sink. I said, and I'm putting that in there. But yeah, he is Chris Goddamn Magnus Cass. Uh, yeah, that's it. That's all I.
Yeah, I have many nicknames. Someone referred to me somewhat like a black Shawn Michaels, but that's a tangent for another day. We don't have to go there. But speaking of Shawn Michaels, I would like to bring the first topic of the day down towards NXT. Because as you and I know, NXT is the my blind spot. I'll catch it when I can, and when I do, shit's always gas. But with this is kind of bad news. Seems that as I was informed by Dave, Jada Parker is out with a neck injury, which kind of sucks because from all of the clips that I've been seeing with NXT, her and Blake Monroe's feud has been kind of like cooking. I've been enjoying it.
See, this is what I mean when I say crumbs, because I saw that and I'm like, I have to tell Cass this. I'm not sure if Cass knows this already, but I know he fucks with Jada Parker, so I have to let him know.
I do love Jada Parker, and I also love Mariah May / Blake Monroe. I found out because I was like, dang, what got me into AEW? I know this podcast is going to be a lot of tangents, but I promise I will keep us. I'll keep us on track. Just bear with me. But I remembered how I got into AEW. It was the Tony Storm Mariah May feud. I was like, whoa. You were streaming it one day in the pay per view in the Discord, and I was like, who are they? And you told me all the great stuff about Tony Storm, but Mariah May, that woman from the Hell Run that she had with the title, that's what put me on. Honestly, like watching it week to week because I wanted to see Tony win her title back, and that first Grand Slam Australia, whew, well, my first Grand Slam Australia, that was a heater.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Storm is arguably the best performer. I'm not even sure if it's men or women. She's been the best performer in the last several years. Her storyline is just it keeps evolving. And
I wholly agree. Yeah.
Blake Monroe, okay, she's great. She was a lot better as Mariah May.
Yeah, I kind of expected that when she got to WWE, specifically when they were like, she's gonna be on NXT. I was like, it's kind of gonna be watered down. And
Yeah.
I feel like the reason why Mariah May was so good was because of not only her own excellence and talent in and out the ring, but like the people surrounding her and the environment that like cultivated like opportunity to be able to do like that Hollywood ending match, because I'm sure that's the match that that got Paul being like, "Hey, Mariah, you want to come down to NXT and kick it with Shawn Michaels?" That had to be that had to been the I saw this match, gotta call this woman. Now she's on NXT. That had to have been the pathway. There's no other way.
He's in the back of Gorilla watching her match, and he goes over and side points at the TV.
I do imagine that instead of like watching the actual like monitor that he's supposed to, Triple H is just on his phone, like texting Kevin Nash, and being like, "Hey, what do you think we should get to eat after this live show?" And then like Kevin Nash, for some reason you can hear the clicks of his knees like through the text. He's not coming on this podcast, and I don't want him to. Not after what he said about Javon Evans, which is how we're going to segue into our next topic.
Dude, uh, real quick, Kevin Nash's opinions are whiplash because I keep saying this in comment sections. His opinions are whiplash because he is anti-Trump. Okay, you're going the right direction, and then you say something that is veiled in racism, thinly veiled in racism, and then the apology is like feeling sorry for yourself. What the hell is wrong with you, you old geriatric man?
Cause like like everyone knows. You could ask my mom. I call Kevin Nash to my mom Big Sexy. That is what I refer to him as,
Mhm.
and I can't do that no more because you're calling the ooh. I'm not gonna get mad again. I'm not gonna get mad again. But calling Javon Evans Mr. Bojangles is so crazy because it either tells me one, you are not as in touch with the black community as you think and hope you are, or two, you're just not watching the product like at all. Because I can think of at least four storylines where Javon Evans is doing exactly what Kevin Nash asked him to do in that tweet. His feud with Ethan Page, his feud with Dark State, his feud with Oba and Trick, and his feud with Ricky. It's like,
Dude,
what are we doing?
I can picture Kevin Nash saying, "What do you mean? I have a black friend," and he points at Booker T.
It would be Booker T. Because like the difference between like I hate to already start the tribalism, but I don't think it's tribal. It's just like you're just looking at it. I don't know if it was Swerve or Max, or I think it was Swerve. Swerve like called them out when they said that Booker T was like the worst commentator at WWE. And it's like, yeah, yeah, I don't like Booker T that much. I just think he's old, man. That's gonna be a lot of what comes down to a lot of these wrestlers. They're just old and out of touch. But yeah, if you see that somebody's talk a while to a person that you respect, by all means. And then we fast forward to yesterday or a couple of days ago, and we have countless, and I mean countless, because I'm glad that we have this podcast now that I can talk about this in a longer standpoint. Because one, this main whole thing that I want to mention first, Javon Evans is in the elimination chamber now. This is like the first time that a wrestler is younger than the actual event that they're going to be wrestling in. That's insane.
So, my fear, because we know who's booking this, my fear is that Javon Evans does a big spot off the pod or something, and then fucking just eats it, just spills into something, and is just lying unconscious for most of the match because
That
he's got
was
this
my
one
fear
big
too.
spot and then dead.
Because the second that he won, I was over the moon. I was over the moon. I made a TikTok video being like, Kevin Nash, you suck. You're wrong. Ah. I was so ecstatic. And I was immediately being like, oh my God, I can't wait for Javon to hit an OG cutter off the pod or a frog splash just off the top of something or whatever. And then I immediately remembered how people felt during the first chamber when Rob Van Dam won his qualifying match. And yeah, I he's in there with some vets. He's in there with some real like 20-year veterans like LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton. They're gonna take care of him.
Hmm.
I know that for a fact, especially Cody and Randy. I know that they're like big bros in that locker room. They're not going to let anything happen to Javon, like unless Javon himself does something like he gets too um he doesn't have it all right in the place. He doesn't have the steps. He slips up or something. But as we've been seeing, and I've been saying this, we go from Javon's match against Randy Orton in St. Louis, Missouri, in NXT. I think it was Battlegrounds. It was one of the like mini event things,
Mhm.
and he messed up a spot. Fast forward to now, Javon Evans on the main roster at Madison Square Garden wrestling Gunther. He's like a completely different person. It's like
Yeah.
he's taken his craft and elevated it, taking all those like mistakes. Because Javon Evans is chronically online. I follow him on Instagram and I see the things he likes. He's chronically online and he is just like me for real.
See, my initial reaction to Javon Evans in NXT was a lot like when Roman Reigns first got on his own. His promos stunk. They sucked. And Javon Evans sounded kind of like, you know how when athletes do car commercials
Yeah.
and they sound like they're reading off a script and they're nervous? That is exactly what Javon Evans sounded like.
And I think that that's I think that's a fair critique. And I think that that's like okay. Because what,
Yeah.
Javon debuted when he was 19 years old?
But since then, like I think almost the next time I saw Javon Evans, because he probably did a lot of work behind the scenes or something,
Probably,
he
yeah.
is completely comfortable now. He got his own vibe. It's all good.
And I love that about him because, like, shock or surprise, Dave's not a part of the black community. However, it is a testament to Javon Evans and just like his, I don't even want to say charisma because it's not, it's just something ineffable about him that he has, that he can show that there are unique black ways to be a wrestler that do not fall into the crime time or the Bobby Lashley's, the MVPs. Javon Evans is uniquely himself and also uniquely and inescapably black.
Mhm.
And it's not like, oh, that's his gimmick. That's Javon Evans' gimmick is being a YN. No, Javon Evans' gimmick is being himself. Being the fact that he is a 22-year-old professional wrestler who is out wrestling these 40 to 50-year-old grown men and has this big ass smile on his face doing it because he knows he's making you look stupid. That's the thing that I think that Kevin Nash doesn't understand because I do. Uh I'm going to use one of our friends for an example. We have a friend named Donnie. Donnie is one of the funniest people that I know personally. However, he will say the most vile and just disrespectful shit to you, to your face, to your soul, with the biggest smile on his face. That doesn't mean that like he's just all gonna say all the things to make you laugh. No, he just knows that he's as funny as he thinks he is. And Javon Evans is as funny and as charismatic and as good as a professional wrestler as he thinks he is. And whenever he gets in that ring and he's shaking the ring or like grabbing a camera or screaming "yeah" at the top of his lungs, it's because he's an unapologetically black, dope as shit young man who can dance and bounce circles around all these like 20, 30-year vets. And no disrespect to them, this is just the next generation of wrestlers that we are going to be prepared for. Javon, Mello, Oba, Trick, and unfortunately, it's very African American.
Unfortunately.
I mean, for y'all,
Oh.
not for me. I'm up.
No, it's all good.
but moving on, so Dave can actually be in this conversation because I don't think he feels comfortable speaking
Hey
on
man,
blackness.
hey
Which,
man,
hey,
hey
no,
man.
big ups for
It's
Dave. Hey, clap it up for Dave. Speaking of like the new crop of talent, I know one of them isn't that new, but we have three new possible signees to WWE, which you know as well as I do that usually means NXT.
yeah, and in classic fashion, I'm looking at those going, who the hell are they?
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Ones that most people are going to be maybe familiar with because I don't know how popular this version of the Bullet Club is like outside of my own personal bubble. But David Finley, the Rebel, the former leader of the Bullet Club slash Bullet Club War Dogs, who I'm gonna tell y'all if y'all don't know about David Finley, he's definitely a phenomenal wrestler. Former IWGP Global Champion. Um, I think he's won the tag belts as well.
I'm pretty sure I've seen David Finley before.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
looking
He
at
used
him.
to have this sick like white streak in his hair. He like has the gimmick like figured out. He's also the son of WWE. Do not know if he's a Hall of Famer because
Hmm.
I don't know. Fit Finley, whose other son, Uri Connors, is currently a member of Chase U. But looks like, and I've in the time that I've told you about this, I've done more research. A lot of the second and third generation wrestlers in NXT, like Ariana Grace. I don't know why I always say Ariana
I
Grande.
I do the same thing. Let
Ariana Grace, Lexis King, Uriah Connors. Um,
me see if this works. There's David Finley.
Goodness. Yes, David Finley. Oh, yes, he also won the the New Japan Cup. Or is that the G1 class? I'm still learning New Japan, but he also won that tournament. So that's pretty cool too. He can wrestle. Can wrestle very well. Well, I mean, of course, he should be. His dad is like one of the trainers at the Performance Center.
Hmm.
So, and then next, another Bullet Club stable member, but a different faction, the House of Torture faction, Evil, all caps like Dio.
Huh.
Now,
Is
Evil is
it?
a Japanese wrestler. Like
Yeah.
he's like I think he's like a homegrown New Japan talent. I don't remember if he came from like if he's from New Japan proper or came from like DDT or well, what's the other one? Noah. But Evil is also a member of Naito's Los Ingobernables de Japón. I said it right that time. It's that name always trips me up. Yes, Evil. Super sick
Evil.
because I think the original members of LIP or LIJ were Tetsuya Naito, you know, that guy, the goat, Tranquilo and all that. Sonata, another shooter. Like imagine like Katsuyori Shibata, but like neon punk.
I like the look. This is
Um,
this is a very good look.
yeah, Evil like was he was super over. That's why they like let him run the Bullet Club, gave him his own faction. Like it was there was a point in time where Evil and the House of Torture were running New Japan.
Hmm.
Like I'm still like learning all the ins and outs of like how popular which versions of the Bullet Club were. But to my knowledge, like the Japanese crowds love Evil and the House of Torture. And last but not least, my personal favorite, which American fans got to see for the first time at the last Forbidden Door, the Time Bomb, stick ass name by the way, Hiromu Takahashi. Now, the best way that I can explain for like people who don't like watch New Japan, like Japanese Seth Rollins, another member of Naito's Los Ingobernables. Um, I found out this is kind of my favorite like category of wrestler. Like when young lions, instead of going to America, they decide to go south in Mexico and train with the luchadors. Hey man, I may be wrong in thinking that, but all the ones that have done it, like Naito, uh, like look at this guy. Look how sick he is.
That's
Naito knew how to pick him. That's all I'll say. Naito knew how to pick these like larger than life characters who, when that bell rang, oh, you better seat sat, eyes glued to the TV. And I'm so excited because this is going to make New Japan do one of two things: crumble or force them to actually care about their homegrown talent. Because as I've been learning, there has been a unfortunate stigma in New Japan that the gaijin is always going to be in that top spot. Like I think we talked about it a little bit last week when or maybe I was just imagining things for future episodes. Who knows? But ever since like AJ, Kenny, Will, Jay White, Zack Sabre Jr., they've always been kind of neglecting their homegrown talent, which is why Yota Tsuji was so adamant about bringing back the V4 title and beating Takeshita at Wrestle Kingdom 20. Because I don't know if you saw that interview he did, like I think the night before or a couple days before, where he was like, "I'm tired of foreigners coming into the company and just like taking over and taking our top spots because we've been here." And honestly, that's fair
Yeah.
because when I got into AEW, one of the wrestlers from New Japan that came up was Shota Umino, and I was so excited for him. Like he he's super cool. Shota Umino is a bigger, like he's like one of the few like super heavyweights in Japan. He's like quick, agile, has an amazing gimmick. The gear he had that I saw when he had it was like pink cowboy chaps with like fringe on the side, and they were like tearaway, and he had like the shorts. I was like, this dude is cool. And only now is he getting like a tag shot with oh darn, I forgot his tag partner's name, but he's also sick against the Knockout Brothers.
There was a point in time in AEW when there was a lot of New Japan or Asian talent, like a huge influx, and now it's just like two or three. They're not as prominent.
And I don't like that. It's the same problem that I'm having with the TNA WWE partnership. It's like one of the companies is getting a better deal, and for WWE, it's them. See, sick,
Yeah,
super sick.
I definitely remember this guy.
He had a little like standoff, I think, against Hobbs in because it was a casino gauntlet battle royale, and he had to stand up with somebody, and I was like, "Who is this? This guy is cool." And I'm not one of those wrestlers who's like a body guy. I know there are wrestling fans who are. Never been one. I've always been more of a technical wrestling guy, or you know, a strong style European catch. I like what happens in the ring. I don't care what you look like.
Mm-mm.
But that guy, he looked cool. Speaking of New Japan, the G1 is coming up close, and it starts in Chicago, which ooh, I will be reviewing that. We will be having a lot to say about the G1 Chicago's matches.
When is that coming?
I believe it is either the end of February or the beginning of March, because I know the New Japan Cup is also starting in March too.
2026. Should have just said start date. Now it's not telling me.
Because it's going to be my first G1 to watch, and as of right now, it seems like they're really pushing um, Yuto Ice
Mm.
to be their new ace. Because after Tanahashi left, he cut this beautiful promo that I had to have translated for me. But nonetheless, because he's a heel, like he is supposed to be like a not I wouldn't say he maybe more like a tweener, but he and Oscar are the together the Knockout Brothers and the tag champs. I respect Yuto Ice so much because he was able to get that crowd behind him and just with him. And I'm really excited to see where he goes,
Ooh.
especially because when Takahashi left, he was sobbing. He was like inconsolable. And knowing he has to keep his character, he like pulled his hood down and like, hit his face so like the crowd wouldn't see him crying. But like Takahashi just like up to him, like pushing him and joshing him. It's like New Japan, when done well, because I know a lot of people have been saying that they're like up and down right now, but when done well, is some of the most beautiful storytelling in wrestling, like universally. Like you don't have to speak the language, just watching them and like watching their faces and how they emote and how like much they love this company and this sport. Ah, man, it could bring a tear to a grown man's eye.
Yeah, I actually watched when, like I said last week, when Jericho fought Kenny Omega, I watched a bit of New Japan, and it was like, this is great, this is good stuff. It's, it doesn't, and I think Jr. was commentating, so it's like there were English
Yeah.
commentators, um, so like you kind of got what was going on. But I just want to say the New Japan Cup starts first in March 20th. The
Okay.
G1 Climax doesn't start until July.
All right. Because I know at Wrestle Kingdom at the end they gave a rundown of like all the stuff that's like the major stuff I guess that's happening. Like the day after it was a new beginning in Osaka. I think that's what it was because I had to watch that like at work because I love New Japan. El Phantasmo is one of my new faves, but I'm not staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning to watch that live. Hell no, I got work every day.
When I worked night shifts, that would have been possible. I did that kind of stuff, but now I work the daytime, a 9 to 5, like everybody else.
Speaking of 9 to 5s, segue. Uh, Hangman Page won his match against the greatest, the greatest third generation wrestler of all time, uh, Andrade El Idolo, and is now the number one contender to Maxwell Jacob Friedman's men's AEW World Championship. How are we feeling about that?
I'm fine with it to a degree. I just when he said, "If I don't win, I will never challenge for the AEW title again, like ever, as long as he lives," is his exact words. It's like, are you
Right.
sure you want to do that? Why? Why do you say those words?
We saw how well it worked for Cody. Well, y'all saw. I had to watch the replay of it, but I still understand the gist. Because isn't that like the moment that kind of tanked his career there?
Yeah, yeah. I
Because
mean,
after that, he never turned heel.
if Hangman turns heel, because I think I saw somebody else say this, but if Hangman and Swerve are heel at the same time, that is a disgusting duo.
Speaking of which, I meant to mention this at the top of the show, but Swerve Strickland turned heel on Kenny Omega in arguably one of my favorite matches of the week. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. I know there was a lot of good shit this week, but Swerve Omega, first time ever. Holy moly. There were moments in that match where I genuinely thought that Kenny was trying to kill Swerve.
You know
The
the
repeated V triggers was the moment.
I couldn't find the sound effect, but whenever there's a video and it cuts to Mike Wazowski going,
Yeah.
Kenny Omega made that face when he accidentally like V triggered Aubrey. Like she collapsed and he did this wide eyed look, and I thought,
Oh, because oh my gosh. I was almost in hysterics. Speaking of that specific spot, because when Swerve was like, because his arm, it didn't look right. It was I don't know what the fuck he did, but his arm did not look right.
did you? So have you ever seen Alexa Bliss do that?
Yes, but
She
like
has this
that's
like,
she's like double jointed.
mhm.
I don't know that much about Swerve's personal life because I'm not that parasocial yet. But like I didn't know if he has the ability to like like move his shoulder out of its socket like on his own, but his arm looked like it was genuinely messed up and he was like selling the shit out of it too. I was like, oh my God, no, Swerve is hurt again. I can't do this because the last time he got hurt, I was in a spiral, a downward spiral that I have almost gotten out of. And then when he came back, I cried for 45 minutes straight. I can't go through that again because Will Ospreay's still not back. But then, boom, like you said, pull Aubrey Edwards in, uh, Kenny hitting the Monsters Inc. emote, and Swerve just decided, yeah, this is the moment that I kill a man again. Oh my gosh. And they wanted me to boo him. I remember distinctly when we were watching it together in the Discord, I was like, oh, you guys want me to boo this? I'm not. I think I actually said Happy Black History Month at the top of my lungs. because you're one, you're not going to make me boo Swerve Strickland ever. I watched all of the feud, and I think when I was watching AEW for the first time, Swerve was a bad guy. I don't
So
care.
I personally, I really wish I like whenever I watch this stuff. The first mistake I ever make is when I lie down, especially at 9:30 at night when I have to get up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I woke up with my TV still on my remote, like under me, looking around, going, "What the hell just happened?" I missed the entire main event, and I had to watch it in clips. I was so mad
You
because
just
I
woke up.
really,
Where's Swerve?
I though I was watching that episode last night. I was watching for that match, and I missed all of it.
Oh man! See, now you can blame Chrissy. Not really, but it was like, see, that's why we have to keep doing the live, so you stay awake during the main events.
That definitely helps because I'm sitting up and talking and being vocal instead of
You're actively watching.
yeah.
Oh man! I Speaking of last night's Dynamite, the continuous, um, just amazing run that Kevin Knight has been on. Goddamn! And also, I keep mentioning this for whatever reason. The Beast Mortos is now a lawyer. He got his law degree. He does not need to be as good as a wrestler as he is.
There was a chant, right, that was basically saying he's going to sue you.
Oh, I
Did you
did
see
not hear
that?
that.
The crowd chanted at him, "He's going to sue you," or something like that.
And this is why AEW has the best chance. Just like every time. Speaking of, if this persists, I like it. It seems like every time that our amazing, hopefully soon to be friend of the show, because I will get Brody King to be my friend. I'll, that's the hill I will die on. I'm gonna get Brody King to be my friend. But if every time he shows up on screen, if the crowd's gonna chant "fuck Ice," put the belt on him now. Put the belt on him yesterday. Put the belt on him for 448 days. I don't care. I, if he's gonna be that over, why not just capitalize on it?
Speaking of stuff getting cut unnecessarily because those fuck ice chants got cut by HBO. Something else that got cut by HBO is when Stokely got kicked in the face in a wheelchair.
All right. I did not know anything about Stokely prior to watching AEW. I think that would be fair to say for someone who got into wrestling WrestleMania 40. I'm going to keep hammering that fact home before, because I know once more people start looking, they'll be like, well, how does he not know this? I'm a baby, I'm 25. However, I still think it's super funny that Stokely might be the funniest person that I've ever seen not wrestle. Because I didn't know he was a wrestler at all. I thought he was just a manager or just a guy that just shows up and is funny. I saw clips of him wrestling. I was like, you do this? You're about that life, Stoke? And then he said the infamous line that made me love, hate him forever. I'm bald. I'm short. I can't get any hoes. I've been fighting my whole life. Signed, sealed, delivered. You're my favorite little funny guy. So then when the Bucks didn't super kick him last week, I was like, y'all are on your good guy shit. But come on. And then they G'd it up. And as we're all gonna learn soon enough when we get to know each other, me, you guys, Dave, we're gonna be all happy family. You're gonna understand. I love a good super kick. There's nothing better than a good old thigh slap. You know what I mean? So, and the Bucks, who arguably have the best super kicks in the game, we're gonna kick this bald man in this wheelchair, a la Brett and Sean. I was gonna lose my mind. And then collectively, the whole stream flag. I said,
No, it skipped, and all of a sudden he was flat on his back.
He was just on the ground. I was like,
And I watched a clip back because AEW posted it on Instagram and probably other socials, but I saw it on Instagram, and he just kind of fell with the kick. It wasn't even brutal. He just kind of went, and just fell
yeah, I'm sure he just
backwards.
sold the kick. Yeah, yeah. And I was like, oh, because my initial thought was like, oh, well, they don't want to, um, talk about like violence against, handy capable people. And then I remembered Stokely's not paralyzed. Stokely's completely and utterly perfectly fine. And then also, literally 10 minutes before, I had to watch Mark Davis wrestle the rest of the match with a broken, bleeding hand that was swollen to the size of a baseball mitt.
Yep.
But I couldn't see Stoke get kicked in the face, fall over in a little wheelchair. All right, Warner Brothers Discovery. It's a damn shame. Goddamn shame.
Oh man.
However, going back to the Fed, um, and short people, we're still gonna be on short people. Trust me. Liv Morgan has not chosen the challenger for WrestleMania still. How are we feeling on that? Who do you want? Who do you want it to be?
I feel like I don't know what she's doing right now, but I feel like the obvious choice is going to end up being Raquel.
Well, for all of those who missed Raw, because I have to force myself to watch this for y'all and for my mom because she doesn't watch it as often either. But Michael Cole had a sit down interview with Liv Morgan, and Dominic showed up. Which, hey man, I'm literally never going to complain about Dominic Mysterio showing up because he was gone for like 4 months and didn't defend the title, which made me mad because he didn't relinquish it because I was really enjoying his title run. However, we found out why he had to show up because Stephanie Vaquer interrupted the interview and only spoke in Spanish. So Dominic had to translate for her, and she was speaking a little too quietly for me. So I couldn't really make it out. So I don't know what she said either. And Dominic was whispering to Liv, so I couldn't hear him at all. But at the end of it, Liv started crying, and then I had to go and talk to my Spanish friends who did watch the episode and could understand what Stephanie was saying. And basically, it was along the lines of like, "Oh, you've been handed everything. You never had to work, a day like hard like I did. I had to bust my ass around the world, in Chile, Japan, Mexico, win world titles there to just to prove myself to get to NXT and then prove myself again there to get to the main roster." And it's like, and I remember seeing a video on TikTok of someone being like, "You don't understand Liv's story," and someone was like, "What story? You mean being one of the most dominant women in WWE's recent history? Always being around, always having the she's the most tag reigns of any woman I think in WWE's history,
Yeah.
and also like she full circle moment on her career and beat Becky Lynch for the world title." But I get it. Liv Morgan fans are gonna Liv Morgan fan. But I feel like the more compelling story right now is Liv and Stephanie. Like Stephanie Vaquer is phenomenal. I wish, and genuinely, and I wish this for all wrestling promotions, let your wrestlers speak in their native language. Spare the exchange and put real fucking subtitles on the screen.
Yeah.
I'm so sick and tired of seeing the Netflix um, live closed captions, which are always like 10 seconds behind what's actually being said. And then when someone is speaking another language, it just says speaking Spanish or
There
speaking Japanese.
there are certain things like people love to pit, like in this case, Liv and Stephanie's accomplishments against each other versus just putting them up on their own pedestals. It's like they're
Yeah.
both great. They're both great talents. Let's focus on that.
Yeah, it's totally okay if you have a personal preference to a specific wrestler, but that doesn't mean that, oh, because Wow, wow, wow. I was immediately going to say, well, just because Stephanie's won world championships all over the world doesn't mean she's better. It doesn't. It doesn't. Not as like not an overall statement. Do I think that Stephanie Bacare is better than Liv Morgan? Yes. But that's just me.
There
That's
is
just one little guy's opinion.
there is opinions, especially in this case. You're entitled to the opinion, but there's also like different flavors of greatness. Like
Absolutely.
Liv Morgan is in her own version of that same kind of greatness.
Liv Morgan, for me specifically, why I love Liv Morgan so much is she's so fun to hate.
Yeah,
Because every time I see her in an interview, like outside of kayfabe, she's a lovely pot smoking woman who I would not like. I would love to like hang out with her, like and just chill. Like I
she
feel like
seems
she's in my dream blunt rotation. Like that's how much I love Liv Morgan.
she
But as
seems like
soon as
very
that
chill
camera
company.
turns on, yeah, exactly. She's like great company. I saw her in like a Deontay DDJ video, and she was more relaxed than he was. And I was like, come on, man, lock in. But as soon as that those lights and cameras come on, oh, I hate her. I hate her. I hate her. She's the worst. My mom calls her Susia. Um, but Stephanie Vaquer, I love her for completely different reasons. Stephanie Vaquer is a wrestler. Like I was saying earlier, I love wrestlers. Like people that when get in that ring can show you any kind of style and adapt to any kind of wrestler. And I feel like Stephanie Vaquer is that. Is she that in WWE? No. But that's not her fault.
See, also at the same token, so is Julia, and they're not doing anything with Julia.
Y'all got me so hyped for Julia. And I don't mean you, I just mean like the IWC. You're like, oh man, when Julia gets to WWE, it's over. It's over. I was ready. I was ready. I saw her at NXT. That's why I started watching NXT more consistently. Because her, Javon, and Stephanie Vaquer. Oh, and Trick Williams.
No,
But once you got to
and
that main roster, nothing.
even with those two for an example, I think I forget where I heard about Julia first, but it's like they came from other companies, they came from other places. Like Stephanie spent like a day in AEW,
Yeah,
and
she
she
was
was
there for
there, then
Forbidden Door.
left. But like you know, me not I don't know what point I'm trying to make, but like I'm only watching this small bubble of wrestling at the moment. So like when I see this stuff happen, I'm like, oh, okay, let's pay attention to them. I was immediately sold on both of them. It's like you're incredible talents. You know?
Which I don't understand because as you know, Dave, I love talking about black and gold. Love talk about black and gold. Johnny Gargano being quick tangent. Johnny Gargano being slandered and flanderized on Friday Night SmackDown is the worst thing specifically for me because Johnny Wrestling is my guy. I've always said that WWE has Daniel Bryan 2.0 just sitting and catering, having it just sitting there getting made fun of by Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Nathan Frazier, and Axiom. They're just, haha, look at Johnny. Johnny's a loser.
It was he doing the thing he's been doing on social media where he's just planking everything.
Yes, yes, he is. Which I, because of all the Kevin Nash drama that has been happening over the last couple of days, I've been seeing a lot of frick, what's it called? That show he did with all the X Division guys.
Hmm.
It was like this. I don't know what the name of it was, but it was like Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Austin Aries, Eric Young. I think it was all the X Division guys in TNA at the time, and Kevin Nash. And it was just them being funny and being dumb. And it's like, wow, you have Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, two actually funny guys on the actually funny SmackDown show. Well, supposedly,
Yeah.
and you're doing nothing with them. And then, oh, cool. Johnny Gargano is now a single star because Tommaso Ciampa decided to care about himself and his career and went to the cool side of wrestling. That was a joke. Please don't hurt me for that joke. IWC. However, you know how many great matches that Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley have as single stars.
Hmm.
Do you know that's two at least two matches that you could have done right there. But no. We got Johnny versus Axiom, Johnny versus Nathan, and now Johnny versus his own like existence, which I don't enjoy. So I'm hoping this Friday, um, like by the time this goes up, to check the comments and you will know if I'm either happy or sad. Because hopefully, Candace saying I'm gonna fix this means that she got him a qualifying match in the Elimination Chamber. Who knows? Because at this
Also,
point,
man, Candace.
what's she doing?
Yeah.
Nothing.
And that may even be their choice. Be like, you know what? Yeah, we're good with. Kind of like I think what happened with Shinsuke. Shinsuke was like, yeah, I like living in Florida. I like surfing.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And if it's their choice, then I mean, like, I guess I got to take it all back. But at the same time, you're Johnny Wrestling. Speaking of old wrestling, I got a bit nostalgic for stuff that I wasn't there for and decided to like watch old Ring of Honor clips and like matches. Y'all had it so good. I get more and more mad at wrestling fans as the day goes on as I learn more about wrestling because it's like you guys had it all. You guys literally had it all. Y'all had Black and Gold NXT, 2014 to 2018 Ring of Honor, like prime indie shit, and y'all said, "Nah, I'd rather watch Roman Reigns get dog food poured on him. That's what I want to spend my 7 o'clocks doing. For real, guys. You wanted to spend your days watching Dean Ambrose talk to a plant instead of watching any Roderick Strong match,
Of what they showed at the time, I think Dean Ambrose was the most entertaining.
which is sad. Which
Yeah,
is sad because it's like,
that was watered down John Moxley. That was all that was.
because ooh, I I remember seeing clips of the Shield when I was first getting into wrestling. I'm like, ah man, Dean Ambrose, that guy sucks. That guy's a loser. No wonder he's not in the company anymore. I bet he doesn't even wrestle. And then I watched AEW and met John Moxley. I said, oh, you're crazy.
I looked up clips of John Moxley while he was in the Shield. I looked up clips of him in the Indies cutting promos. It was incredible. I was like, this is the same guy. And then the week after Seth Rollins betrayed him and Roman Reigns, they basically gave him a mic, and he cut the best promo I've ever heard him cut as Dean Ambrose in WWE. It was like he finally got to unleash what he had all along. And
Mox,
then
yeah.
and then they gave the mic to Roman Reigns, and he said something about suffer and succotash or don't tug on Superman's cape. And I was like, oh man, you're so close. And now he's a tribal chief and is phenomenal. But back then, no.
I still say to this day, Roman Reigns cannot cut a babyface promo. He just
Mm.
can't. I don't believe Roman Reigns to be a good person. Strictly because he does not follow the rules of wrestling. He just doesn't. He's never apologized. He never made amends. Like to anybody. He made amends with CM Punk before he made amends with his own blood. I just want to point that out there. When he came back with Jimmy and Jay, he just went back to treating them like shit. Immediately. Just immediately. And I'm just like, all right, whatever. I maybe it's because I wasn't there for the tribal chief shit,
Yeah.
and I was just there at like the literal end of it and the start of Cody's reign as champion. I just don't get I don't get Roman Reigns. I just don't get him. And I don't think I ever will. Especially now that like he's on the internet being like, guys, I was gone for 4 years and you guys couldn't make a star. Hey, buddy, They couldn't make you a star in 6. Why are we playing this game? What are we doing?
Have you ever seen so like when Dean Ambrose contract like they had a whole goodbye tour for him too, the whole She-Ra
Yeah.
thing. He had immediately cut like this promotional vignette of himself. There was chains, there was like all this like stuff, and then like a week later or however long later, a major AEW show, Kenny Omega standing tall in the ring, and then all of a sudden John Moxley comes through the crowd and gives him the dirty deeds in the middle of the ring.
Yes, because that's when he debuted hit the Dirty Deeds on Jericho and Kenny. That's
Or
stuff I
maybe
just watched that clip today.
it's paradigm shift because he didn't have dirty deeds yet. It was just paradigm shift.
Right, because the Dirty Deeds was the one he had in WWE. Because his finisher now is the Death Rider,
Yeah.
which I don't know why I wanted to talk about this in this episode. But what is your favorite like call for a finisher? Like, because I know like finisher names are cool, but like who like whenever like there's a match and the commentator says the move and it's like it just hits every time. Because for me, it's gosh, now that I'm put myself on the spot, I all of the other cool ones are there too. But for like just for like instance, like when Excalibur says hidden blade,
Mm-hmm.
like when Will hits that hidden blade and Excalibur's really just like in the zone, that shit always hits.
Are you talking about when the commentators yell out the finisher, or when they're trying to like
Yeah.
say, okay? Um,
When they give it that extra.
yeah, I mean, contrary to popular belief, I actually like Excalibur's commentary. I feel like people shit on him too much.
They do. They do. And I don't know why. Actually, I
Uh,
do know why. They hate when wrestlers and the staff and anyone involved has fun or exhibits any kind of emotion during their job. Because we noticed that with Samantha Irving when she was crying during Cody's announcement, which I can't believe y'all believe that woman at this place. I hate y'all for it. At least their singing career's doing well.
so because that's what I thought of because I can't right now on the spot. I can't think of like one specific announcer call for a finisher, except every time I hear Excalibur say a finishing move, that actually it sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, Excalibur has that voice. Like even when it's like not even a finisher, just like when he says like spine bust, like or when Kyle Fletcher hits the brain buster. It's just he just has so much conviction when he says, or even like the PWG commentators. I know they were like cycle out, but sometimes it was like God, what's his name? Converse boy. Best friends. Trent Beretta.
Trent Beretta and wow.
Orange Cassidy,
Mhm.
fucking Wheeler Yuta, I can name every member of the best friends, but not the actual leader of the best friends. Chuck Taylor.
Chuck Taylor. No,
When Chuck Taylor would yell super kick, that shit always makes me laugh.
so what stuck out? It's not even a finishing move, but when Excalibur goes, "Death Valley Driver," it's so good.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. When the call is just as impactful as the move. Oh, yeah, anytime Excalibur says Death Valley Driver, especially if it's on the apron, ooh, it's so great. Not a finisher call, but just a call in general. Um I know a lot of people were giving Michael Cole flack recently, but when he said, and this is why I love professional wrestling, every time they use that in an edit or a vignette, I get goosebumps.
Michael Cole has his ups and downs. There was one I saw a clip recently of oh AJ Styles' debut. It was obvious that Michael Cole knew who it was because he goes, "Could it be? It is AJ
The
Styles." It was like that is
phenomenal one has made it to the WWE.
It was more believable when Edge came back and he goes, "No, no way." I think he might even curse. There was one time where I think he said, "Holy shit."
Anytime Michael Cole swears, I get out my seat. I'm like, shit, Cole's into his shit. Let me lock in.
Have you ever seen Michael Cole on the Howard Stern show?
No,
You
I
have to fucking watch that.
Lord.
He curses up a storm. He actually curses out a caller because the caller is ragging on him for WWE. And his exact words, he starts off, "Listen, fuckface," and he just goes off.
Ah, I love Michael Cole. Love Michael Cole. When he's good, sometimes it's like, damn, shut up. But now that he's back with Corey, the synergy's back. The synergy's back on, and Raw such is kind of more bearable with them on the commentary team. I kind of wish that like in an alternate timeline, the commentary team was Wade Barrett and Corey Graves, as Corey Graves is like the lead analyst.
So there's a lot of wrestling personalities that I just kind of tolerate their existence because they are
Right.
good at their job. You know, um, Corey Graves is one of them, and I because he's good. He is very good, but he's like too into it. Where like Mauro Ranallo, who I adored on commentary, um, he had a problem like an anxiety problem where he internalized things. He actually
Mm.
had to take time off at periods of time because things would get to him, right?
Oh,
Knowing that as a coworker, why the hell wouldn't you give him a heads up when you're trying to start a bit on social media?
yeah.
Because Corey Graves started to bash his commentary, but he was doing it to hype up the Survivor Series beef between the brands. Having never said that to Morrow actually had to delete his social media for a few days. He was so upset.
Yeah, I remember the day I decided that Corey Graves is always gonna have like a special place in hell in my heart. Because as we previously just talked about, how much I love Johnny Gargano. There was a match. It was DIY versus I don't remember. It might have been Motor City, but Corey Graves was on commentary being like, and Johnny Gargano is just a leech. The only reason that he's even as popular as he is because he just leeches off of other success. And I was like, Corey, that's what you did. What are we talking about? But I was like, man, that's when I realized I get too into wrestling a lot of the time. But I was like, Corey Graves, you talking shit about Johnny Gargano when you're behind the desk? This is before I even knew he wrestled. This is before I even knew he wrestled.
Yeah, this is like it's one of those things where it's like I don't want to know too much about the person because I don't want to hate you.
Right.
I do not want to hate you. Like Undertaker and Kane, they've made their bed. I fucking hate their guts.
Yeah. I don't, yeah, there's no saving those two. They can go over there. We got Batista and Foley, so I don't think we're that lost.
And it's gonna come to a point where we keep saying certain stuff like every episode because we have said this before. But
Yeah, but it's not gonna change. It's not gonna change. It's still fuck Taker and Kane every day, all day. Until it's backwards. And on that note, we can move to my favorite segment, highlight of the week. I have mine because I have unfortunately made my For You page on all accounts show me wrestling matches I've never seen before. So for today, I saw a banger actually. It was supposedly the longest match in indie history, CM Punk versus Chris Hero. And I kind of I hate to say this. I think I like indie punk more than mainstream punk. Like both AEW and WWE. I think Ring of Honor punk might be like I don't know if it's like the shitty box dye job, the the basketball shorts, the 3X jacket, the kill switch engage. It might be all of it. It might be all of it. And then the other match that I watched today that I had to talk about and tell more people about was El Generico versus Kenny Omega. Um, I don't think Kenny Omega can call himself the best Canadian wrestler. Not while Sami Zayn is breathing. Not while Sami Zayn is breathing. I'm gonna keep that a whole stack with everybody. Kenny may be the best bout machine, and there may be video evidence of me saying that Kenny Omega is the best Canadian wrestler since Bret Hart. I might have lied. I might have just straight up told a bold face fucking lie. Because Sami Zayn slash El Generico made Kenny look like a bum. Did Kenny still win? Yeah, because he hit the one winged angel. But wait, no, he didn't hit the one angle. He hit Kreutz Wrath, which is a move that I hate because I hate saying it, but it's just super cool. Can't even deny it. Kenny Omega is very inventive. Not as inventive as Sami Zayn though. And then the last thing that I want to talk about is something I forgot to mention last week when I was talking about MJF's interview with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
He said that his dream match would be with Kevin Steen. And Kevin responded. And I didn't know about this until a little later. I said, "Whoa, Kevin actually saw this? Interesting. What did he have to say?" Nothing but whatever Kevin Owens wanted to fucking say. And honestly, I respect him for it. He was just like, you know, I know the guy. He's got the little scarf. People call him like a discount Miz, but I think he's more like a discount Jericho or a discount Punk or a discount Cody, which some would say is worse. I was like, yeah, that's my dog. That's my dog, Kevin. I hope him a speedy recovery, and I'm gonna keep saying it every episode until he's back. Because if I keep sending out good vibes, then maybe, just maybe, I'll hear that guitar riff one more time.
That's he's got a fantastic theme too. Yeah.
I played his theme and Stone Cold's theme at the same time. It's the same shit. It's the exact same shit. And like not like they're I mean, obviously Def Rebel fucking sucks. But it kind of makes me feel vindicated because I've always said that like Kevin is my Stone Cold. Like the way that like y'all were like rowdy for that drunk Texas redneck, which rightfully so. As a drunk Texas redneck myself, can I get a hell yeah? But Kevin Owens is my Stone Cold for like my I want to say my generation, but for me definitely like I knew when I fell in love with Kevin Owens and everything he does when I saw the backstage segment of him and A Town Down Under, and he was like, "Do you think that I can punch both of them at the same time?" He's like, "No, it's impossible. We would have
That
to be like
was
standing right next to each other, like lined up, and it would have to be perfect." And then just boom.
from off screen too, which was so
Yeah, which is
perfect.
great. And then Kevin's reaction was like, I told him I could do it. Yeah, I just love Kevin Owens. That's my dream match, actually. Like, I know that I've said is like AJ versus Will Ospreay, but Kevin Steen versus Swerve Strickland would feed families and generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like promos, like the feud itself. They'd have to take it off HBO Max and put that shit in theaters. The match, pay-per-view level matches every single time. Give me Swerve Strickland and Kevin Owens in a ladder match. Have them niggas beat the shit out of each other. Please and thank you.
Oh
Is there
man.
any
Well,
you have any highlights of this week that you just be like, damn, I gotta
the
make time for this.
the highlight of the week that came to mind was Aubrey taking that ref bump,
I'll be
and
taking the
that
V trigger.
I feel like we're gonna say this every time, but Aubrey is someone I would love to have on here to talk to.
Yes, yes. And if any, we'll say it as officially as we possibly can in this very moment. Hi, my name is Chris Goddamn Magnus. Yes, you have to say the whole thing. And this is Dave Xanatos 1138. If anyone could get in contact with Aubrey Edwards or Aubrey Edwards' PR team, please let them know that we are the biggest fans and think that she is one of, if not the best referee in professional wrestling. And we would love to pick her brain about how she got into wrestling and how fun it must be to be a part of the AEW roster. Because, yes, I consider referees and staff a part of the roster. Anyone who gets inside that ring, you're a wrestler to me, and you deserve just as much respect as everyone else.
They're calling the matches too, you know.
They, without those refs, if you're not a competent wrestler, ain't shit getting done in that ring that's going to be believable and cool. And if there needs to be an audible call, who's going to be the one facilitating that? The referee. Case in point. Oh shoot, what's the referee's name? That was in the Mox Takeshita match. But either way, Mox told him, the ref told Takeshita, raging fire. We sent the crowd home happy.
Mm-hmm.
And also that match at Revolution. I know only 2 matches at Revolution have been announced, but ooh, ooh, Hangman versus Max, and there might be a stipulation to that match because it might be a Texas Death Match. Which Max in a Texas Death Match. Thank you, Tony Khan. And then Mox Takeshita 2, no time limit. So that all that tells Chris Goddamn Magnus is that the Alpha Tenosuke Takeshita is going to be your new Continental Champion. Gold to the Don Callis family. I mean, hey, I'm eating good. I'm eating good as an AEW fan. As I mostly do. And Will Ospreay is possibly coming back at Revolution because they keep teasing us with these vignettes. Every time it happens, I cry. And this Wednesday was no different. It was no fucking different.
All right, do we got anything else?
I think that is what we had planned for today.
All right. Well, I have been trying to perfect an intro outro, and I have never gotten to say the inspiration, even though I'm probably not even going to go this route because it's too complicated of a thing. But have you ever heard when Road Dogg does his intro for New Age Outlaws?
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted to do like, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Tonight, D Generation X proudly brings to you its WWE's Tag Team Champions of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse James, the badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws. I love that. I can't believe I remember the whole fucking thing.
That was pretty good.
I was even speeding it up.
WWE champions of the world. That's like that goosebumps. Ah. Mm.
Well, I am Xanatos1138. David, if you're my friend, guys, gals, non-binary pals, thank you for joining us. Cass, where can we find you?
You can find me as always at TikTok at Mr. Must See Teve and anywhere that there is a black swamp or a crack in a dimensional rift.
All right. See you next week, everybody.